When a legend leaves this world, the spotlight usually falls on the stage they once stood on. But sometimes, the most powerful story belongs to the person who stood beside them. Quietly, faithfully, for decades. With the passing of Lawrence Welk Show icon Guy Hovis at age 84, many are asking a different question today. Who is Sarah Sis Lundy, the woman who shared the final 23 years of his life? Sarah Sis Lundy is best known as the wife of the late Guy Hovis, the beloved American singer whose voice became a staple of classic television music through the Lawrence Welk Show. They were married on February 16, 2002, and remained together until his death in January 2026. But Sarah's life was never about fame. While Guy lived under stage lights, Sarah lived in quiet strength. While his voice reached millions, her influence was felt by one man, deeply and completely. Now, as the world reflects on Who Was Guy Hovis? Singer who performed for years on the Lawrence Welk Show, dies at 84, curiosity has turned toward the woman who walked beside him when the applause faded. Sarah Sis Lundy was never a performer. She never sang on television. She never chased headlines. And yet, her story is deeply powerful. Her nickname, Sis, carries warmth and familiarity. It speaks of family, of closeness, of trust. It hints at someone grounded, dependable, and emotionally strong. Very little is publicly known about Sarah's early life, her parents, or her siblings. And that is intentional. She chose privacy long before she ever met Guy Hovis. When Sarah entered Guy's life, he had already lived several lifetimes. He had sung in church since age 5. Graduated from the University of Mississippi with a degree in accounting. Served 2 years in the U.S. Army. Become a national star on the Lawrence Welk Show. Recorded 15 albums. Performed worldwide. Sang at President George W. Bush's 2005 inauguration. And before Sarah, there was Ralna English. From 1969 to 1984, Guy was married to Ralna, and together they formed Guy and Ralna, one of the most iconic husband and wife duos in American television history. They met in Santa Monica in the late 1960s. Their Christmas duet in 1969 became so popular that Lawrence Welk brought them back repeatedly, eventually making them a permanent act on the show. But by the time Sarah Sis Lundy arrived, that era had already become history. Sarah met Guy not at the height of fame, but at the beginning of peace. Their marriage on February 16, 2002, marked a turning point. A life no longer driven by schedules and performances, but by companionship, rest, and emotional grounding. Sarah became his wife, his calm, his constant. Guy was also a father of 3 children and a grandfather of 5. Sarah stepped naturally into that extended family role, becoming a stepmother and grandmother figure, even though her name rarely appeared in headlines. Their relationship lasted 23 years. In the entertainment world, that kind of stability is rare. And in a life once filled with applause, Sarah became the quiet place where everything could finally slow down. Then came January 22, 2026. Guy Hovis passed away at age 84 after spending several weeks in the hospital. No official cause of death was disclosed. His former wife Ralna English announced that he died peacefully and asked for prayers for Julie, Sis, and Guy's entire family. That single mention told a story of respect, of unity, of shared history. Sarah Sis Lundy was not just the wife at the end. She was family. She was love. She was home. Here are a few powerful truths about Sarah Sis Lundy. She was married to Guy Hovis longer than any of his previous marriages. She entered his life after fame, choosing love without spotlight. Her name was respectfully mentioned by Ralna English in the death announcement. She became a stepmother and grandmother figure in Guy's family. Her legacy is quiet, but unshakable. When Guy Hovis died, tributes poured in celebrating his voice and kindness. The Lennon sisters called him an amazing, talented singer with a voice beyond perfection, a loyal friend, and truly unforgettable. But behind every tribute to Guy stood the woman who carried his final chapter. Sarah Sis Lundy represents something rarely celebrated: the power of presence, the strength of privacy, the dignity of love that doesn't need applause. Sarah Sis Lundy may never appear in music history books, But her place in Guy Hovis' story is permanent. She reminds us that legends don't walk alone. They are loved into peace by someone who never needs the spotlight. For more deeply researched celebrity biographies, visit celebsworld.com. Please like, share, and subscribe for more documentary stories that honor both the famous and the faithful.